Uh, Mandela was such an important figure in South Africa.
Yeah.
Uh, do you remember the effect he had? I mean, he's at this point he passed away, and he was in office until 1999.
Yeah.
So you were still a kid while he was still in office. But do you remember the effect of Mandela?
Yeah, definitely, bro. He was like our God. You know, as kids growing up, like a lot of the people that were already like in the late teens and 20s had like mixed feelings and emotions about Mandela because of like the other stuff that young kids don't really get the access to know about, the other information that's in like the textbooks. I hadn't gone to that level yet. So those people had mixed emotions and shit. But I just knew Dr. Mandela as like this huge mogul, this figure that just like saved us and you know what I mean, is leading us to the promised land type shit. I definitely felt it. I drew him a couple times. Like
Well,
I used to be a sketch artist. I drew him a couple times.
nice. What were the negative things that people were saying about Mandela?
Um, I never used to pay attention in my history lessons. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't really remember them in detail, but there were a lot of stories about how he was playing both sides and stuff like that. I don't really know much about that. I don't know. I don't know. And
Fair enough.
there'll always
Fair
be
enough.
like these conspiracies that he was a clone, the real Mandela died in prison, and then they made up a clone, that type of shit. That shit happens like, you know, I don't mind it though.
People were really, people just love conspiracy theories,
I know,
man. So
bro.
they really said that Mandela was a clone, that he
Yeah,
died in prison, and they had a fake Mandela that became president.
yeah, and they tried to link his cell number or his I don't know his number. It was 46664, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they tried to link the 666 to Illuminati and the higher powers and the New World Order. Just some dumb shit, bro.
Okay, now your first studio album was called Bad Hair.
Mhm.
Now, is that a play off the term good hair?
Not really. I was looking for a title and I didn't want to come up with something too rappy or too deep or like So I was like, yo, let me just pick one thing about myself that I know is a fact. So I'll be able to explain this shit to someone ask me about it, but also that just like it's easy to remember. It raises a lot of questions. Why the fuck would you name your album Bad Hair type shit? And it would make people want to stream it and listen to it. So that's how I came up with that name. I have bad hair, like my hair is the worst.
Yeah. Why is it bad? Explain it to me.
It breaks. It needs like a lot of attention. Like I have to bug my girl to help me out and shit with products and stuff because I don't know nothing about it. Like she has to wash it, clean it, braid it, unbraid it, all that type of stuff. It's just our family just doesn't have good hair. My brother has the worst hairline. My brother before him has an even worse hairline. My little brother's hair is like brown, off reddish. It's just, it runs in the family.
Okay.
Uh,
You started making music as a kid,
yeah, yeah.
but at what point did you feel like, all right, this could really be a real career? I could really pursue this full time.
Probably when I was 16, 17. I think that's when I really started making money and I started to see the potential in what I was doing, and how much money I could make. And also, uh, like my music really developed, I really started digging into my personal shit and rapping about it and making music about it and looking at how people related to it and knowing me that I have so many more stories to tell. I just kind of felt like, oh, okay, cool. This is something I could definitely do for the rest of my life.
All right, because you were primarily raised by your dad, right?
Mhm,
Your mom passed away at an early age.
mhm. I had stepmothers.
Stepmother.
Yeah, couple.
Okay. When you told your dad and your stepmother that you wanted to be a rapper for a living, what was the reaction?
They always just wanted it to be a hobby. They didn't believe in the music thing. And rightfully so. You see a lot of artists falling off, being addicted to drugs, them being fucked over by labels and going broke, and like we've seen the movie play like 1,000 times over. So my parents were just like they had that typical parent paranoia. They wanted me to pick something a bit more secure, like a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, this and that. And they weren't very supportive at first. And I made a deal with my father. I was going to take a year off and not do school at all and focus like 100% on the music shit. And if it works out, I don't go back to school. I carry on. If it doesn't, I go back to school. I listen to him. I do everything he says. And I won.